G'day, Kevin. Welcome to the Redvee TV show as we build up to this weekend's game as your St. George Illawarra Dragons take on the Poms.
Are we going to do the business? Are we going to beat the Poms?
No, because they're going to be far too good for us.
Well, they're using all 26 of the players that they brought over, so yeah, it's going to be tough.
We've got Ben Masilla. Did you not see him in a Warrington shirt? Jersey? How long can we keep this up for, Kevin? Because I don't really know anything else about our own team. But
James Graham used to play for us.
And we've got Trey Stewart at fullback. He's going to have a great year. I've run out of things to say about them. So should we go back and be a St. Helens show instead?
Please.
Oh, that's probably the worst Aussie accent you'll ever hear in your life.
Terrible. I didn't even bother trying myself.
It is the Battle of the Redvee this weekend as Saints get their first hit out. And as Mr. Wellens keeps reminding us, it is pre-season and All Saints 26-man travelling squad will take part in the action. Kev, talk us through the squad.
At number 1 is Jack Wellsby. At number 2 is... No, I'm not going to go through that. Listen, I know we've said on our previews about who may and may not hit that 17 for the game. But this is going to be that run out for us that really cements them spots. They will pretty much know who is going to be playing. But obviously, with a couple of injury concerns, I know everybody's going to get a game, but they're probably still a little bit in the back of the mind about injuries on one or two. People not having had a run out yet after the World Cup. It'll be interesting to see how we come through and how they manage the squad to get through the 80 minutes. I know they're not going to play a lot of people, like they've already mentioned about Will Hopewati and Mark Percival not playing 80 minutes, but it's about getting time in their legs so they are ready for the Penrith game.
Yeah, just to confuse people, I went from 1 to 4, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I was just reading that and I thought, was 5, 6, and 7? Oh, yeah, it's there.
Yeah, will Wello start with his best 13 that is going to start the World Club Challenge the week later?
I would have thought so, yes. And I think the first raft of interchanges will give us an idea on the 17 as well. Obviously, a couple of places that will be up for grabs. We mentioned him in our previews, our Jake Wingfield. He's got the 18 shirt there. He'll be pushing for a space on the bench. James Bell, after his performance against Widnes, will be pushing for a place in the 17 as well. But I think that the first couple of interchanges and who you expect to be in there, so obviously Joey Lussick as backup to James Roby, you expect to see them players coming on in the first lot of interchanges, I'd have thought.
Is there a big call to be made on Lewis Dodd?
In what way?
Do you expect him to be in the halves for the World Club Challenge? Or
yes,
given he's only just making his return to fitness, do you ease him in gently into the season? And do you go with Lomax and Wellsby in the halves and Will Hopewati fullback?
No, I think if he's fit and he started against Widnes, he'll play, I'd imagine, a good 40 minutes on Saturday. I think he plays in it. Whether he then turns out against Cass the week after the World Club Challenge game is another matter. But no, I think he plays in it. I don't think you start mixing it round. I think you try and play your best 17. Your best 17 includes Lewis Dodd.
Okay. In that case, Kev, what's that? Sorry.
What do you think?
I just worry his lack of game time. In terms of, obviously, he's missed the most of last season. It's going to take time for him to come back in because essentially it is like a new sign, and he's only played a dozen or so games last season. I wonder whether you stick with grand final combinations pretty much. Given that we've got that like muscle memory. Listen, Lewis Dodd is in my best 17 for the season. I just worry it might come a little bit too soon for him, and we might choose just to go with Jack Wellesby and Johnny Lomax in the halves, Will Hopewati at fullback.
On that, then, you turn around and say it might come a little bit too soon for him. Will's been struggling with injury himself. So, all of a sudden, then you've got...
Is Will Hopewati like a Rolls Royce? Listen, if the basis of Will Hopewati being fully fit to play was the question, then I don't think Will Hopewati would have turned out for us at all.
No, that's fair enough. I just think it's a similar argument there with regards to Lewis. I know Lewis has missed a long stretch of last season with that Achilles injury, but I think there's similar arguments there. I just see Dodd being part of it.
Okay. In that case, Kev, who are your combinations? What's your centre wing combinations?
Now that's a tough one because I think it's Conrad's shirt to kind of lose. So I would probably go. It's a good one, that isn't it?
Well, first of all, who's your fullback? Jack Wellesby.
Wellesby. I would probably go if Hopewati's fit and Percy's fit. I'd almost be tempted with Makinson, Hopewati, Harrell, and Percival as my first choice. And that's nothing against John Bennison or T. Ritson. I'd possibly just go with them for first choice just to get the minutes in Hopewati's legs and in Percival's legs.
So where are you playing, Hopper? Wing?
Centre.
Have who outside him? Percy?
Either or, Makinson, Hopewati and Harrell Percy on each side.
Is it fair to say, apart from Tommy being your winger, the other three could play in any combination?
Yeah, exactly that. And you could have them three. You could have Conrad misses out and John Bennison gets the start on the wing. T. Ritson might get the start on the wing with Percival inside him. Percy might come on later. Hopper might come on later. It's because of the depth that we've got there now. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. And it's a big choice for Wello as well.
Yeah, is it? Listen, you're looking at that 26-man squad. Essentially, we're going to be able to name 17 plus 1 for the World Club Challenge. You've got to find 8 names on that list to miss out.
Yeah.
You'd assume, if it was guessing at this moment in time who would miss out, it would be Dan Hill.
Yep.
Lewis Baxter.
Yep.
Counting here. Sam Royal.
Yep.
Ben Davis.
Yep.
Dan Norman.
Yep.
T. Ritson, if he doesn't play,
yep.
6. And then I think whoever the other two are going to be really unlucky. Maybe James Bell might be your 7th. And then I'm struggling for your 8th.
Yeah.
Is it a shootout between Louis and Jake Wingfield for the last bench spot?
Possibly. I think Louis' experience kind of comes in. If we're talking about the Penrith game, we'll get more of an idea after Saturday, I think. After this Dragons game,
yeah.
We'll get more of an idea of who we kind of see as the starting centres and, as you say, 6 and 7, and how we're going to go with that bench. Because usually, I'd almost say that your first 17 there are your guaranteeds, with probably Jake Wingfield as your +1, because Jake can play in a couple of different positions. With James Bell very unlucky to miss out, and then, as you say, it's a shootout between if someone isn't quite fit enough.
Connie's 23 though, Kev.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's almost where you go, listen, if Hopper's not fit enough, Connie goes in. As I say, I do think it's Connie's shirt to lose. It's just a tough one, mate. It's a very, very tough one. That I say your first 17 are your shoe-ins. Yeah, good point. Connie being 23, maybe does John Bennison miss out?
Yeah, based on what you said about centre and wingers before,
yeah, possibly. But if I'm going to start trying to guess a game 2 weeks in advance, with a game in the middle, I mean,
obviously we're basing this on everybody coming through safely on Saturday. But I think we're having the conversation now is because, as you say, things should become a lot more apparent after Saturday. But what a dilemma to have, that it's not cut and dried who plays.
Yeah, exactly. And even like your +1 for the head injury, the concussion injury, sorry, where we're saying, oh yeah, Wingfield or James Bell might go in. Ben Davies might can play a couple of different positions.
I was going to say that was going to be my next question, Kev. That 18th spot, obviously, it could only be used in a concussion situation.
Is it 3 concussions?
3 concussions. So obviously that could happen to any player on the field. So that 18th man for me has to be someone who can cover the backs and the forwards.
Yeah, possibly so. So Ben Davies kind of fits into that. My thing with doing the backs and the forwards is if you do have a forward in there, so it is somebody like Jake Wingfield, you can always slot Sione back to centre if you needed to. So you've always got that. So that's it, though. I mean, we've got a game against St George first up, and it's a game that does matter as well. I know it's a trial game, as they call it over there. I know it's not necessarily for anything standalone, but there's a 100 grand prize at the end of this extended tournament that we're in, with a nice convoluted set of points for wins and however many line breaks you make and all things like that. But for the sake of Super League, it's important that Saints go out there and put the show on, because we've been the best over the past 4 years, and it's a reflection of a team who has dominated. And I know Christian Wolf's gone, and a couple of players might not quite be there who were there last year or years beforehand. But this is a team that's dominated for 4 years, nearly 5 years. If we'd have come through that semi-final against Cass, we didn't. But it's a reflection on the whole league. And I do understand that, listen, fans aren't necessarily going to be rooting for us. Some will, and some will want it as a good reflection on the league. Others will just want to laugh, even though the team's not involved. I get that. You get into these positions and you're part of it, and you're there to be shot down.
Yeah, listen, as you say, it's a marker for Super League. It wouldn't be good for the game in this country if Saints didn't perform. That said, if I was a Wigan fan or a Warrington fan, I wouldn't be supporting us.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
you get that. You'll get some who are. You genuinely will get some who are, but on the whole, I would imagine that if we get dusted twice, they will be quick to be involved and get into our social media and be commenting on the videos and all stuff like that, despite their team not being good enough to be part of this.
Listen, don't get me wrong. If we were an opposition fan, I wouldn't want Saints to win, but I also wouldn't want to see us get humiliated either.
Yes, correct. Yeah, a tight game. As you say, if we were opposition fans, a tight game that they lose would be perfect because you don't disgrace yourself.
And
Obviously,
listen,
as
Kev,
a Saints
if
fan,
if we don't win and we don't win the World Club Challenge, we'll take the stick like we normally do on our
yeah,
social media.
exactly right,
But
exactly right.
equally, if we did win and we were successful, we'd be dining off it all year long.
Oh, will be
Not gonna lie.
absolutely unbearable,
Yeah.
absolutely unbearable.
Should we have a look at the St George squad?
Yes.
You can give us the in depth on some of these superstars, Kev.
Okay.
Okay. So St George have named their squad. New
Yeah.
signings: the big man, but Little by name, Jacob Little, is included, as is the really big man, Ben Murdoch-Masila,
Yeah.
and Nick Louis Toso feature in the Dragons' first hit out of 2023. The lineup also includes some exciting young playmaking talent from within the Dragons system among the 28 names. But skipper Ben Hunt is rested after a big off-season, which included the World Cup win for the Kangaroos. Jack de Belin, Jack Baird, Jaden Sewer, Jaden Sullivan, and Aaron Woods, all hamstring, will also sit out the game. And Bateman Bay's product Trey Stewart gets a chance to start at fullback, with Terrell Sloan on All-Stars duty, while the absence of Hunt, Baird, Sullivan, and Talatu Amoni mean development list hooker Connor Muller-Leeson gets a chance to start in the halves alongside Moses and Mbai. Let's hope he doesn't part Saints' defence.
Very good. Very
The
good.
club's other free development players into the forwards, Josh Corrick and Jackson Shareb, plus winger Sion for now, all start from an extended bench. Training trialists, Hale for now, I'm assuming is Sioni's brother. Zach Herring, something fishy about him. Jet Liu, rocket propelled prop, and Alex Lobb on the wing. Dylan Egan and Tony Couchman, both second row, also feature on the extended bench. Ireland international Josh Cook has also joined the club from the Bulldogs on a training trial contract and will feature on an extended bench. Kev, who are the danger men?
Zach Lomax, because he looks like Tommy Makinson.
Now, Kev, you were waxing lyrical to me about Blake Lowry. Tell me what you know.
You know full well I don't watch the NRL, so these are just names on a sheet to me. Absolute names on a sheet to me. And it may be ignorance on my part, but I just don't have time to watch the NRL. So, yeah.
Hang on, they've got two Moses playing for them. That's cheating.
But yeah, absolutely. I apologise to Dragons fans who may stumble across this, but I don't know anything about you because I don't.
Okay.
I don't watch it. He's 26 apparently. Blake Lowry, 6'1", 17 stone 9. Played 103 times for the Dragons since 2017. This is all based on Wikipedia, so if it's wrong, I don't care. Yeah, so there you go. He scored his first try after 91 NRL appearances in a win against the Bulldogs. So no doubt he'll go rumbling over for a hat trick on Saturday morning. Yeah, there you go. Blake Lowry, prop and lock for the Dragons.
Okay.
Anyway.
Mr. Wellens could have scrubbed up a bit better for this photo, couldn't he?
You know what? That is an absolutely classic photo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Proper old school photo there. Yeah, tremendous that. Absolutely. If the club aren't selling prints of that, they're missing a trick.
Yeah. Iconic. I was watching one of the videos on Saints TV and he was saying it's not that easy to get access to the Sydney Cricket Ground. So we must have good contacts to be able to get in to do this photo every time we go with the squads, whether it's the academy squad or the first team. Yeah, absolute beautiful photo, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. And as I say, they need to They need to be selling them in the club shop.
Maybe they might Photoshop a suit onto Wello before they sell it. I'd imagine it might have been a bit too hot for that, like, but
yeah, definitely.
Speaking of hot, we took part in a full contact training session against the North Sydney Bears. I've no idea who came out on top, but Alex looks like he's just been put on a sleeper and fell asleep.
That's it. I think I saw on the social media that it was a lot of the North Sydney lads had to take the day off work to be part of it. I mean, it's a good hit out for them. They're going to want to go and prove a point against the Super League champions. But yeah, listen, it's great. I think Kev Nagama turned out for the Bears last year, I think, when he wasn't playing NRL. So there's a little bit of a link there as well. So, but yeah, you know what? It's great that we can. You mentioned about the picture and us getting access to the cricket ground there. It's good that we have been able to go over and do this. And there's a lot of kind of legwork done when we do the youth tours as well. So having all these contacts is absolutely fantastic.
Rushy's little black book.
Correct answer.
You wouldn't be happy about having the knock-on effect as a sponsor, would you?
I hadn't even noticed that.
At least they've got Command 51 on the shorts and not Command 0.
Don't know what that means.
Put it together, Kev.
Okay. Oh yeah, very good. Yeah.
And that's how hot it is. We're training in hats and not bobble ones.
Well, yeah. Listen, when you've got as much hair as the likes of James and the likes of me, you've got to keep that sun off your dome, or else you're in trouble.
Yeah, it looked like a strawberry by the time. Well, it probably looked like James Graham by the time the game kicks off next week.
Probably would do.
Right, we've dragged this out.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're still with us, Kev apologises for the jokes.
Yes.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back for the instant fan reaction following the game on Saturday morning, which you can watch on Sky TV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't just remembered, I said it 30 seconds ago.